I'd like to call to order the March 7th Board of Public Works meeting. We'll start with roll call. Mayor Kim Smith.
Here.
Alder Larry Jurassic.
Present.
Myself, Stephen Knott is present. Jared Holter
Here.
and Sabrina Steger.
Here.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the consideration and action on minutes from the previous meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Mayor Kim Smith, seconded by Larry Jurassic. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that motion passes. Next item is public input. Anyone who'd like to speak will be limited to 3 minutes. Please identify yourself with your name and your address. Is there anyone here who would like to provide public input? Yep. Okay, yeah, no, just move right up here on the microphone so, you know, we can be heard. So again, it's name and address, and then you have 3 minutes. Okay?
Okay. Thanks for having me. My name is Bruce Wabra. I'm here to talk about snow removal. We've lived in, well, my mom still does, but we've lived up in Onalaska on 9th Street since probably 63. And my mother lives there. She has Alzheimer's. She's 90 years old. I do pretty much everything I can possibly do for her. I don't get up there every day because I still have other things myself to do, but I spend a lot of time with her. It wasn't until my brother, Sean, came down to my house. He went to visit my mom and he showed me, have you ever seen this? And I'm like, well, what is it? And so he pulled out the, where they had hung the notice on our door. And I says, no, what is it? So he showed it to me. And so that was the first we ever seen anything about it. And so I called and talked to Jared. And my thing was that, well, there could have been possibly a couple other options that could have been done. I mean, you know, he could have knocked on the door. My mother would have answered. She worries about everything. She would have been on the phone immediately to call me and say, hey, they were here. They want that little bit of snow that's on the sidewalk shoveled up. I would have went up and done it. But he claims that, well, we don't have time to knock on doors to do that. But if they got the time to sit there and take pictures, you got time to write out this notice, I'd take about the same amount of time. It would have been done. But it was hung on the front door, and the front door to our house never gets used. We have a door underneath the carport that goes in the kitchen, and that's where we go in and out. My mother doesn't venture outside. She's afraid she's going to get COVID. She doesn't even like stepping out her door to put her garbage in her garbage receptacles. But they took a picture of where it was hanging, and this was another thing I just wanted to point out too, was there's a picture of the front door where they had the notice on here. Well, right next to it is my mother's mail slot. If they would have slid that in there, I can guarantee you she would have been calling me up and saying, I got this, oh my God, she goes, and that's the way it would have been. So, but the main thing that I really want to talk about is when I went onto the Onalaska's website and looked up what the procedures were and everything under the facts. And I'll read this under sidewalk maintenance during the winter. It says the city requires that all snow and ice will be removed from the public sidewalks within a 24 hours of any snowfall. In an effort to keep public sidewalks safe, the city enforces this requirement by first informing property owners who have not complied by mail. And then if it didn't get done after that, then they would have come up, shoveled it, and it would have been done and over with. But so when I talked to Jared about that, he says, well, we don't no longer do that. But it wasn't changed on your website. Your website clearly says, like I just said, will be sent by mail. And that's basically what I'm here to say. It's not my fault that somebody didn't change this. It's been changed now. quite quickly if I had been informed. And probably, I don't know if it would have been changed if I wouldn't have brought it up, but the fact is, this is what it states on your website. And that's, if I would have gotten something in the mail, I would have known about it too, but this was just all kind of thrown at me. I had no clue what was going on. I believe it could have been handled a little bit better. And that's all I have to say. Thank you for hearing me out. I don't know if anybody got any questions for me. No?
Yeah,
Good? Okay, thank you.
there's no questions allowed during the public input. So, yeah, all right. Anybody else for public input? Second call for public input. Third and final call for public input. You said no one's on the phone. Okay. Public input is closed. Next item on the agenda is number 4, which is the sidewalk snow removal charges for 132 9th Avenue South. Jared.
Thank you. In your pack tonight, we do have the invoice that was sent to the Wavre residents for the sidewalk snow removal charges of $170. We do have a picture of the door hanger that was placed on the door, picture of the sidewalk that the snow was removed on. On this day, we actually carted 75 properties on that Monday, which would have been January 30th. We actually shoveled 10 properties on 2/1, which is almost 48 hours later. It did snow on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. They were small amounts. It was 0.6, 1 inch, 0.2, and 0.2. As Mr. Wavre stated, I did discuss this with him on the phone. We did not, as a rule, we have not knocked on doors. We have not confronted residents when we have put the door hangers on, when staff has done that. We no longer mail the letters since the change in policy by the council was to enforce the sidewalk removal of snow on the sidewalks at a higher level. We're not able to, if we mail a letter, we got to assume 4 days for the postal service at a minimum, and then give them time. And by that time it had snowed again. So what the problem was, we ended up sending another letter. So we did no longer remove that. As Mr. Wavre stated, that the snow and ice policy was not updated on the city website, but the city ordinance does supersede, and it states 24-hour time. I guess gotta get to right. Said sidewalk should be cleared of accumulated snow and or ice within 24 hours. Time of the snow ceases to accumulate with the sidewalk. And basically it goes on to say that the city can give a courtesy notice after that fact. So we have decided and have been doing this for a number of years that our courtesy notice is the door hanger on the door. We can't put it in the mail slot because then we get into issues with the mail, actual mail department. If we put it in a mailbox, I guess I don't know about mail slot, but I know we can't put it in a mailbox because then the postal service will tell us we can't do that. I guess with that, I'd open up for questions for the board. And Mr. Wavre obviously is in the audience if we want to have him up for more questions. All right.
I tend to agree with the gentleman. My house is the same way. With the door that we hardly ever use, the front door, we go through the garage. But there is no way of hitting 100% on this. That's the bad thing about the whole process here. Using the mail, everything gets sent up to St. Paul now, and then back down here. So you're looking at 2 to 3 days sometimes before you mail it 2 blocks over. I can't, I'm sorry, but I can't agree. I mean, I have to agree with what the city's done and issue the fine the way it reads.
Mayor?
Yeah, thank you. You know, every year we have a few of these, and definitely we have had a couple situations where we waive the fee, but And I'm not really seeing it in this one. I mean, it's known that when it snows, the snow needs to be removed regardless if you, even without having the door hanger there or the mail or knocking on the door, whether someone answers or not. We just really need to keep the sidewalks safe. We spend a lot of money. Jared could probably tell you exactly how much, making sure our sidewalks are safe from the aspect of the concrete sidewalk replacement program. And this is just another, works hand in hand with it to make sure we don't have snow and ice building up for pedestrians. And looking at the picture, there is a lot of pedestrians in that area that did walk through there, thankfully safely. So I agree that I think the policy just needs to stand.
I'm also in agreement. I will give, I guess, some very detailed reasons why. Well, first off, mandatory snowfall removal is pretty much a near universal requirement in almost every municipality. It's certainly everyone I'm aware of. There might be some exceptions. Anywhere in the north that I've ever lived, and I've lived a lot of places, having moved a lot with the military. So it's almost should be understood, number one. But also number two, it's a liability issue. If the city doesn't enforce the snow removal, then there can be an argument made that the city's taxpayers are going to become liable for somebody who gets hurt on those. That's one of the main reasons that pretty much every municipality I'm aware of does enforce snow removal. And even if we didn't, or if the property owner just doesn't, the property owner is going to become liable if somebody slips and falls on there. And the lawsuit that could come from that could actually be quite substantial. There's cases that I have read in the past that are actually pretty shocking on that. But so a couple of things, the knocking on the doors, it seems like a very simple thing to do at face value. But the issue is if we have public works personnel knocking on doors, you said there were 75, I believe?
Correct.
Issued on that particular snowfall timeframe. The possibility of having a confrontation between an angry property owner and the public works employee is, I don't think, it's not insubstantial, especially when you talk about the scale of how many of these things have to go out. Any given house is probably okay. Thank you for letting me know. I'll take care of it. But with 75, what's the probability that one or two are going to get verbally and potentially even physically confrontational? And that's why we don't want to put our employees in that situation. We certainly can't have a police officer going around with them to 75 properties to issue these tags. The concern with the website, I'm glad that got fixed, but the ordinance is published also on the website through the ordinances section. And as we changed the ordinances on this, it was also published within the minutes on public minutes and posted as well. So certainly the issues with mailing have already been pointed out that that's just not going to work. It's not workable. But I don't think that in this case that, there was an expectation on your part until after you received that notice that, oh, well, I don't have to worry about shoveling this sidewalk because I'm going to have a week because they're going to mail. I don't think that was the case. I think this is something that happened on your research afterwards, which again is just a website. It's not the actual ordinance, which is published through the city website as well. So yeah, I do understand the challenges of caring for an elderly loved one, but in this case, the snow just has to be removed when there's a snowfall. You can see all the steps that walked through there, and every one of those was at risk of a slip and a fall in a lawsuit. So yeah, I also can't support making an exception in this case. Sabrina or Jared, anyone?
I'm the same with the rest of the committee. I can't support waiving the fee, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. No, any other comments? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we how do you phrase that? We do not
Enforce the
support
code?
we do not support the or we have to support the notice and invoice.
Okay, I'll second it. Okay, so motion made by Larry Jurassic, seconded by myself to enforce the code with a charge of $171. Right?
70.
$170. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Item number 5, the professional design services for cemetery phase 1 improvements, construction of the columbarium area. Jared.
Thank you. This is a longstanding project we've been working on for improvements in the cemetery. This would be for the removal of the street at Hickory Street between 12th and 13th. And it would also be for the design of the columbarium area. And the columbarium area would have a columbarium that would have niches in it for placement and internment of urns. We have been getting more and more requests for this sort of structure in our city cemetery. I think there's a lot of support for it. I think you're going to see a lot of people, once we get this installed, purchasing these. With this, we would get the design completed by Tribute. Tribute did our master plan. They're a cemetery design company. They also run a variety of cemeteries in Wisconsin. Kind of a niche market. There's not a lot of people designing cemeteries. So this is the one we wanted to go with. This does include a variety of items, including the design, structural, civil engineering, a 3D rendering, things like that. This would be a not to exceed price of $45,000. This would be for a complete biddable set of plans. Staff is recommending we move forward with them. We did have this included in the 2023 capital improvement budget. Hopefully, if we get the plans done, we can have a good budget number for the proposed 2024 capital improvement budget, and we can then possibly get constructed in one of the future capital improvement budgets.
Does the proposal fall within the budgeted amount?
It does, and this work is, there's a lot of moving parts to it with the structural piece, the rendering piece. It's not a cookie cutter design per se, so it is a little more expensive than probably doing a street project percentage wise, but this will still be a lot of work going into this. It'll still take city staff time by our city engineer, Kevin Schubert, to go over this and make sure it meets our standards. So it'll be, it's a needed improvement out there. It's something that people are, I got another call last week on when the columbarium is going in. So it's once a month I'm getting a call.
I move that we go forward with the proposal from Tribute Design System as described in our packet.
What was the amount? Sorry, amount?
Not to exceed 45,000.
Oh, okay. A second.
Motion to approve made by Mayor Kim Smith and seconded by Larry Jurassic. Any further discussion?
Now,
Yes,
there's
Larry.
been no advertising on this at all, correct?
No, we did not solicit.
But you're getting phone calls on it already.
Can you repeat
But you're
that?
getting phone calls on it already?
Oh, the average, yeah, oh yeah, we're getting advertisements for the columbarium itself. I've got people that are, well, I've had a few people call me at least once a year wondering what the status is, but I believe what's going to happen is we're going to phase it. So construction wise, we can phase our installation. So we'll put up probably one columbarium unit, and I'm guessing those are going to get, that one unit's going to get filled relatively or bought out relatively fast. Depending on how many, you know, if it's a 64 unit or what we have, so.
Anything else?
No, thank you, Chair.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6, release of drainage and utility easement along the common boundary of lots number 1 and 2 and lots 2 and 3 along the 400 block of Crestwood Lane, tax parcels 18-4485-5, 18-4485-6, and 18-4485-7. Jared.
In your packet tonight, you can see the certified survey map outlining lots 1, 2, and 3 in the 400 block of Crestwood Lane. In the yellow is our drainage and utility easements that run between the two, between lots 1 and 2, and then lots 2 and 3. With this, the owner of all 3 lots is going to combine the lots and build one structure on this lot is what they're proposing. So in order to do that, they need to have the drainage and utility easements released, and that is what the request is tonight. With being on one lot and one structure, we will not need the cross lot easements.
Make a motion to approve the release of the drainage and utility easement on the property described in order to create one lot.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Mayor Kim Smith, seconded by Larry Jurassic. Any further discussion? Larry?
What kind of building that they're gonna put on this? This is residential, isn't it?
It's zoned R3, so they can put up to an 8-unit building, but they're proposing either a 6 or 7-unit row house is what they're currently looking at.
Any other questions or comments?
Done.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7, purchase of 6 police squad cars in the spring, summer of 2023 for 2024 delivery. Chief.
I can start just with this
Okay.
tonight. Just obviously Chief Ashback, we're gonna have him chime in too, and he did a very good job of very detailed memo in our packet tonight. Basically, the crux of this is the 2022 yearly allocation of police squad cars was ordered and the order was canceled. As you know, right now, we're having a difficult time with any vehicle, whether it's a large dump truck, cabin chassis, pickup truck, 1-ton police vehicle. Lead times and ordering times just are all over the board. So what the chief is requesting is he would like to order his 3 cars again that were canceled from the 2022 budgeted amount, and then also get the cars ordered for the 2024 order, because those cars are ordered in the spring in the next few months and they will not be delivered until 2024. So we keep taking the risk. If we don't order them now, it takes 9 months to a year to get the cars. If we miss another schedule, the police department fleet will be aged out and it will be in a very difficult situation. So I know we've skipped years where we've skipped years on purchase of squad cars and we've paid that price about approximately 3 to 5 years later, that it just, our mechanic work goes up astronomically. So I guess with that, I'd turn it over to the chief, and if he's got anything he wants to add or any specifics in his memo he wants to point out.
Thank you, Jared. Jared did an excellent job describing it, so I really don't have much further to add to it. It is very confusing, so I tried to lay it out kind of with a chart there for you. I'm happy to answer any questions. Probably the only other piece I would add is, you know, the original amount budgeted for these 2022 cars, of course, now are going to be increased, right? So if we do get approved to order these in the spring or summer, the price is going to be higher. So we're going to have to look at, you know, that funding increase, whether that's through equipment replacement fund or capital improvement budget for the 2024. But I just want to note that as well in the memo. So happy to answer any other questions, or
Sabrina?
The only thing that I wanted to add, I know it's in the charts, but for 2022 and 2023, the vehicles that we did intend to purchase, we were using ARPA funds. So the funds are still sitting there for the 2022 vehicles. And with discussions with Chief and Jared, essentially 3 of those vehicles, we would use the ARPA funds that didn't get used for 2022. And then likely we're looking at short-term borrowing for 2024 capital improvements budget for the additional 3 vehicles.
All right, so, okay, go ahead.
I just point out too, as the chief said, that's a good item that was brought up. Each car from this is how much the prices have went up from 2022 to 2024. Each car is going to be approximately at least probably $20,000 more. So you're looking at $60,000 to $75,000 that those cars are going to be more than what they were in 2022. It was 12,000 a year, wasn't it, chief, for
It was 12,000.
for all three?
Between the.
All three.
cars.
So
It's
it'd
about
be-
$4,000. It went $4,000 more from 2022 to 2023. So hopefully not, but if it does continue, essentially the 2022 cars we got canceled are now going to cost us probably $8,000 more for the 2024 model.
So 25, it'd be about 25,000 total that we'd be
For
looking
the
at
three,
increased
yep.
cost. Okay.
So some clarification on the charts. First line, I get it. 2022 ARPA funds, it was canceled. And it's going to be more than what we had initially planned on for 2022. 2023, I get it. You're taking 2023 ARPA funds to get that. I'm a little confused where it gets to the 2024, where it goes back to 2022 ARPA funds.
So what it is in it, hard to put an arrow in a Word document, but basically the first line that you see is now being moved into the 6. So at the 3 plus the original 3 is actually the 2022 original 3. So it's the
okay.
2022 original 3 plus the 3 for 2024.
Got it.
Basically, you could take the first line that says order date of 2/7/2022, circle that, write an arrow up to the word original.
Okay, so,
If that helps clear, does that help?
yeah, it
clarify
does.
kinda?
So the first row gets moved down into the third row.
That's
Correct.
correct.
All right, I am tracking.
It's merged, yeah.
Okay, and then lastly, there's, we'd have to decide as a council on how to fund this if we decide we're going to approve them. But we still have some small amounts of ARPA left that have to be spent out by the end of 2024, right?
They have to be obligated by the end of 2024.
Okay.
So when we're working on the 2024 capital improvements budget, we will have to take a look at that and see what dollars are remaining. So that $8,000 could be covered in another area where we saw some savings.
Well, I'm thinking, cost increases on the purchasing based on the 2022 estimate that is no longer valid. That's also an option, as in addition to the other sources listed.
Correct.
Equipment replacement and so on. Okay,
Okay, I'll make a motion that we move forward with the purchase of the 6 police squad cars in the spring, summer of 2023 for the 2024 delivery as described in the packet.
okay. Motion to approve to approve the proposal for purchase made by Mayor Kim Smith, seconded by Larry Jurassic. Any further discussion? Larry?
Yeah, I want to verify that the ARPA funds would be able to use, even though it's after the time period that they're supposed to be extended.
Yeah, we have until 2024 to obligate them. Yeah, not even to spend them, they have to be obligated. Yeah.
Can I just add to that? So we do have through the end of 2024 to obligate them. But just keep in mind that during the capital improvement budget process for 2023, we did expend all those dollars out. There just may be some savings within the projects to where we might be able to cover that $8,000. It'll just be dependent on where we're at the end of 2023.
But if we do use the ARPA fund and they get canceled again, what happens? That ARPA fund is basically gone?
We have to-
Well, they were obligated, so I don't think we would run into an issue if we had them obligated, but then the order
Change
got
obligated.
canceled. We still have them obligated for police vehicles, so I think we would be fine since we obligated them to.
Look, that's what I'm saying is if we obligate it to the police department, the cars get canceled again. Can we take that money then and put it in some other project, or is it?
We would have to do that by the end of 2024.
I think by the time we do the capital improvements budget in September and start that process at the Board of Public Works, we'll have a good idea if they've been ordered and if the order's going to stick this time. And if it doesn't stick and it doesn't happen, we gotta have a fallback plan. And if the fallback plan doesn't work, we'll have to reappropriate to another project and then still have to eventually fund squad cars. They're not gonna go away.
I think squad cars throughout the state is gonna be in the same situation, so it won't be that big a problem.
Any other questions or comments?
Oh, thank you, Chair.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Item number 8. Replacement of, is that pronounced flight?
Light, yep.
Okay, replacement of light MAS 801 pump monitoring units for storm lift station located at 1311 Main Street. Jared.
So Flight is the brand of pump that we have. It's a commercial pump that we have within the storm lift station. We actually run that brand of pump at almost all of our lift stations. What this is, at the storm lift station, there's 3 very large pumps. They're about the size of a VW Beetle down underneath the vault in the ground. We put those in 2011, and at that time they were almost 300,000 a piece. So this is the control unit that actually monitors the pump, tells if there's a seal fail, high temperature alarm, things like that when they're running. So this protects the unit. These units were installed in 2011. We've just been having problems. It's an electronic unit. They're not functioning right. We get called out at odd times when nothing's happening. So we're not knowing if they're functioning properly. We did work with the pump manufacturer. Actually, this is one of the few things I can say in this year that I've seen the price go down. We had originally got the price during budget time. It was going to be approximately $80,000, and this has actually went down. The flight units themselves would be for 3 units. The cost just to get those units, $41,887.57. And we've got another $3,245 of electrician costs to get them installed. So we're looking at a total cost of $45,132.57. It seems like a lot of money, but when you're talking how many over $1 million of investment in the pumps, we got to have it in order to make sure that they're running. And or the other thing is if one of the pumps isn't running and it happens during a rain event, it's really going to be, the flooding implications would be disastrous. So, and we've got money. This was included in the 2023 capital improvements budget for replacement.
Could you?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the replacement of the pump monitoring for the lift station at a cost of $45,132.57.
I'll second.
A motion to approve by Mayor Kim Smith, seconded by Sabrina Stater. Any further discussion or questions, Larry?
What are they saying as far as delivery time on this? I mean,
I think when I was talking to John Wyatt, our Assistant Director of Public Works Operations, he thought they could have them in a month.
Oh.
So we're hoping to have them whatever the demands, this is one of it's just a weird, I don't know. That's the first thing I've had all year that's went in the right direction. So,
jump on it fast.
Yeah.
but yeah, we're hoping to have it replaced before summer rains.
Have you had any major problems? You just barely mentioned it, but
It's been alarming us out pretty regular, faulting out. So this will be a good one to get fixed so we don't have to, right now, if it faults out the wrong time, we got to send an individual out on overtime in the middle of the day or weekend to go out and check it to make sure.
with the spring thaw and everything like that, is that could be a major problem?
No, I think spring thaw, it's not as bad because we know it's not gonna, if one pump's not running, it's not gonna be the other pumps will run. And we can just shut it off for having a problem with a certain one, but come, July, but anytime after probably June 1st, we get a large rain event, it's gonna be, we really want to have it operational.
Thank you, Jared.
Any other comments or questions? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Item number 9, 2023 pavement maintenance, which includes fiber patching material, chip sealing, and centerline painting. Jared.
I'm going to take the first one, which is a purchase of fiber patching material. In your packet tonight, I have included a memo for purchase of a whole semi-load truckload of fiber patching material. We've been doing this over a decade now. We do have a quote from Sherwin Industries for $29,025. That is up over 3,000 since last year. With the price increases we've seen, this is a single source. We do use a Sherwin or a Craftco brand of polyfiber that we put down on our city streets, and this is the supplier for that Craftco material.
Make a motion to approve purchasing the fiber patch material for $29,025 from Sherwin
Industries.
Industries.
Second.
Motion to approve by Mayor Kim Smith, seconded by Larry Jurassic. I was kind of looking at this as an aggregate. I mean, we're going to vote on them one at a time, but I'm going to bring up on the very first one here that the total of the 317, 174.72, is that falling within the budgeted amount?
317,
On the item number 2, we're going to go to, which is the chips.
271,
Two,
271 is item number 2.
yeah, I'm saying you add 1, 2, and 3 all together, or A, B, and C, I guess it is all together.
Yeah, part of C is actually paid for out of our operating budget. So the center line painting, when I get to that, that's usually split between the operating
Okay.
budget and the
And so that's the portion, that's the operating.
yep.
All right. Any other questions on A? Sabrina?
Jared, for the Sherwin Industries purchase, that is in the capital improvements budget. Is that under budget of what you budgeted for?
Yeah, we figured that was gonna be about that number. We had anywhere from 28 to 30,000 in there, and it came right about what we figured.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? All right, we have a motion and a second on 9A, the purchase of fiber patching material. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We're on to B, chip sealing.
Your packet, I've outlined the 2023 chip sealing project. One thing I will say from 2022, after it was approved, the bids came in for the chip and the emulsion that goes down in the city streets, and it came in higher than what we anticipated. So we actually cut back on last year's project than what was approved by the council to put in to stay under budget. So in 2023, we're using a new price of $1.75 a square yard. And that is with the La Crosse County Highway Department. They've done our chip sealing since I've been here for 25 years. Always done a good job, have come in under what they've given us for a budget quote every year. But with that, we were at $1.50. So basically we've increased our chip seal price to 17%. So we went in and had to decrease our amount of chip seal that we put down by 17%. So basically we went from an 8-year cycle to a 9-year cycle. So this is another one of those things that just seeing the price increases and everything like that, it's just our purchasing dollar is not going as far, but yet our street mileage is not going down. So we are seeing this in a variety of projects, as I've stated for the year now. But this is actually the biggest bang for the buck is our pavement maintenance. I would continue to do pavement maintenance on what we have before I'd repave city streets, because your dollar is much more well spent on that work than anything. But at the same token, you can't not pave streets forever neither. So we did, if we would have did this using the $1.50, we would have did what we probably thought we were going to do, and we would have been at about 305,000, 310,000. So we did dial it back by that amount.
What was the budgeted amount?
We had 350 in pavement maintenance overall. But this is, it's not going as far as, and that number probably, I'd say probably 15 years ago, it was at 250,000. So we have raised it to 300 and then 350, but chip seal back in probably 15 years ago was probably about $1.10, $1.05. So we haven't kept up with what, especially after this last price increase that we've seen.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the chip seal project for an approximate cost of $271,000 with La Crosse County.
Second.
Motion to approve by Mayor Kim Smith, seconded by Sabrina Steger. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. And 9C, center line painting.
Enclosed in your packet are two quotes for center line painting. This year's low quote is 9.5 cents per foot from Farner Asphalt Sealers for an approximate cost of $17,100. It's another one that's been going up. You know, a penny a foot doesn't seem like much when you're doing 180,000 feet, it adds up, you know, to a number. So staff's recommending Farner Asphalt Sealers for 17,100. And make that in the form of a motion.
I'll second. So motion by Jared to approve $17,100 to accept the bid by Ferner Asphalt Sealers, Inc., seconded by myself. Yes, Mayor.
Jared, do you feel the quality is equal?
Yeah, Farner, both of these two firms have done center line painting in the city over the years. Sir Lines a Lot has been a recent ad over the last few years, but we had a long time provider actually retire, so they're no longer in business. So
'Cause last year it was Sir Lines a lot, right?
yeah, no, Farner last year, year before.
Ooh, okay, because I remember.
Yeah, they kind of go back and forth. It depends on what they're doing in the area and who gets what bid and,
Okay.
you know,
So you've had success with both.
yeah, we have.
Lower bid probably wins then. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Item number 10. 2023 utility project bid. Jared.
Your packet tonight, I do have the bid advertisement for the utility project bid. We will be opening bids on next Tuesday, March 14th, and then bringing those bids forward to the common council meeting for possible action. So I just wanted to alert that we will have that on the regular council agenda and be handing out the bid tabulations that night to see where they come in and hopefully award a bid.
This is information. We don't need
Information.
motion on this, but does anyone have any questions? Okay, item number 11. 2023 urban forestry program bid.
Same thing with the urban forestry bid. We will be opening that bid on the morning of next Tuesday, March 14th, and bringing those bid tabulations forward to the common council for possible action.
And again, doesn't require a motion. Does anyone have any questions? All right, item number 12, State Trunk Highway 16 Bicycle Pedestrian Path Maintenance Agreement with Wisconsin Department of Transportation. Jared.
In your packet tonight, we do have the proposed agreement with the Department of Transportation for maintenance of the off-street path along State Trunk Highway 16. Part of this is cleanup with the whole off-street path from Lacrosse Street in Lacrosse all the way to Vets Park in West Salem. There is a new section of path being installed this summer from Emerald Drive East, or where you enter to go into the Lacrosse International Business Park down to South Kinney Cooley Road. That project is getting constructed through a TAP grant, Transportation Alternatives Grant, that the Lacrosse County sponsored and is getting built, as I stated, this summer. The council did go on record before that project went in that we would maintain and take over that because it's within our jurisdictional limits within our city. So this is the formal agreement to formalize that with the Wisconsin DOT. And all the other sections we have. We actually maintain all the way from our Pierce Road, which is on Nathan Hill, all the way back to 12th Avenue South at Holiday Heights.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the agreement.
PH.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion made by me to approve the agreement, seconded by Jared, I'm sorry, Larry Jurassic is who I heard first. Any other questions or comments?
Just to clarify, it's to PH, not 12th Avenue and Holiday Heights. We're only maintaining down to PH. Dick's Sporting Goods.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Any other questions or comments? Larry.
Should I change your requirements as far as personnel to maintain this?
We do plow it, maintain it in the winter. The good thing with it being 10 foot wide, it's done with a pickup truck. So actually the Parks Department does all these paths. They do this one on 16. They do the Green Schoolie Trail. They do the Crossing Mountains Trail. They do the Highway 35 Trail. They do the Sand Lake Road Trail, and all those are done with a pickup truck. So it will be more maintenance, but they're already out doing part of it already. They're out in that areas, but it is another, 2/3 of a mile that they gotta go on the pickup truck and plow it.
Basically, you're looking at about what, an hour? First,
Yeah, I would hope they get plowed in probably half hour, 40 minutes, but biggest thing will be is that if it ever needs maintenance, so 25 years from now, when it needs to be maintained, either the city's got to maintain it, asphalt maintenance or something like that, when it needs to get rebuilt, or gets rebuilt as part of the highway project when the highway's redone.
Any other questions or comments? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 13, replacement of all band portable radios for the fire department. You're gonna be taking this for the fire department?
Yeah, I'll start it off. Included in the capital improvements budget this year was the radio replacement plan for the fire department. Within that plan or within the budget, we did budget for 1/3 of the 30 radio replacement, which is 10 radios. As you can see in your packet tonight, we have included a quote from Motorola Solutions for 10 replacement radios, which includes the pertinences that are needed. That total cost comes to $83,132.50. These are the one of the great things the chief could expound upon this is that they will be able to be interoperable with other departments, actually interoperable with the public works departments. They'll be able to talk to us on the radios, City of La Crosse, all the other departments. So I think it's a great thing. One thing I will say is the capital improvement budget was using the budgeted number of 81,446. There's a slight cost increase that the fire department will have to use some of their other equipment funds to cover that slight increase. But other than that, I think, Chief, you got anything to add?
No, just wanted to add that, and of course, Jared, you did a good job covering that. Just wanted to add that AFG regional radio grant is still out there. As recent as March 1st, we saw another Wisconsin department receive monies. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. We have not received any notification yet that radio grant did not go through, but just seeking approval to proceed forward once we get that letter from FEMA so that we can purchase these radios. And again, I don't know what the time frame is going to be for this for delivery of the radio, like everything else probably delayed. So hopefully we hear soon and we can get this approved so we can at least get those 10 radios ordered.
Steve?
Yes, Sabrina, I'm sorry. Yeah.
You're probably going where I'm going.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I believe the grant with FEMA is probably a reimbursable grant, so I think we could probably purchase the radios and then when you would receive the grant, we would show proof that we purchased the radios. I believe it would be a reimbursable type grant where you would have to pay for it out of pocket and then submit your documentation and then get the funds for the grant. Typically how most grants work. We can talk about that further if you'd like.
Right. The radio grant was written for 30 radios for our fire department. But again, you're probably correct. Whether we order 10 now and if we get it 20 later,
Right.
our responsibility would be 10%.
And if we don't order them now, my worry is the cost will continue to rise. But that's just.
Yeah, that was my question. I was gonna say just as long as we know it's a reimbursable grant, which we can confirm, get the 10 ordered now. And if you find out you do get the grant, then we can order the other 20 because we'd have our 10% split covered with the monies that were budgeted. So, but you're correct. I think everything, I was actually modestly surprised once again on one of the few that this one only went up a small percentage.
Right.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to move ahead with the purchase of the 10 all band portable radios for the fire department at a cost of $83,132.50.
second,
Motion made to approve by Mayor Kim Smith, seconded by Larry Jurassic. Yeah, you mentioned cost going up, but cost can be measured in a lot of different ways. I absolutely agree with what you're saying, Sabrina, but also there's a safety cost here too. I mean, one of the main lessons learned from 911 21 years ago was the deadly consequences of stovepipe communications where departments can't talk with anyone outside of their own people. So yeah, I think we need to move forward with this on many accounts. Yeah.
Right, and just to go back a little ways, this radio, we can communicate with Minnesota as well as La Crosse on their, both of them have 800 systems, and then the VHF system, which is in the county. So we have that ability to be able to talk, as Jared said, with all the various departments in an emergency situation going to their frequency.
To include all of them that we have mutual support agreements with?
Pardon me?
Would that include all of the other departments we have mutual support agreements with?
Yep, absolutely.
Outstanding, good, yeah. All right, any other questions or comments? Right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 14 are pay estimates. We have a total of 5 items. Connor?
I move that we approve the pay estimates as described in our packet, items 1 through 5.
I'll second.
Motion to approve the monthly estimates made by Mayor Kim Smith, seconded by Sabrina Steger. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion passes. That concludes the Public Works portion, and we are now moving on to the utilities portion of this agenda. Item number 15 is an update on educational materials for recycling charges on upcoming utility bills.
Thank you, Alder Knott. In your packet tonight is a recycling fee flyer that will be in the upcoming April 1st utility bill. This is will be cut into thirds, so this will be 1/3 of this sheet, or with one component of the information will be in the utility bill. We will also be working to get this as it rolls out April 1st to get on the city's social media platforms. We have put some information already on the website, and it will be included in the upcoming city newsletter. So we are trying to get the word out in a variety of spots. If anybody's got any questions or has another spot they'd like to see it put out for the public viewing or something, we can definitely work with that. So it's just an information item to alert everyone that it will be out in the April bill.
Yeah, this doesn't require any kind of motion, so does anyone have any questions or?
It is going to be on the website, correct?
Yes, I do believe, I think Karen or Amber already put it on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do, is this already set? This is what is going to go?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, in the future then, I mean, it's fine as is, but in the future, I'd like to highlight the cost more effectively because it's hidden in, well, I won't say it's hidden. It's not mentioned until the second paragraph, and it's in the middle of the second paragraph. And, my experience would be that most of the, taxpayers, when they have taxes or fees that they're responsible for, that's the first thing they want to know is how much. And it's just, you have to read it and find it. So, yeah, that's all.
Good point.
Okay.
Steve, Sabrina had a
Oh,
question.
Sabrina, go ahead.
Thank you. So we can make we can make some tweaks. The water bills haven't gone out yet. So
Have you printed all of these yet?
We have not. We have. not.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you just put it in bold, that one portion,
Okay.
that would definitely make it
That'd be
stick
easy.
out.
Yeah.
Thing to do.
Mhm.
So long as it doesn't suddenly go outside the margins, because it looks
You
like,
just want the fee in bold or?
77?
yeah, 877 per housing unit. A quarterly recycling fee of 877 is probably all it needs to be in bold.
Maybe underline it.
Yeah.
Maybe
Under,
look
yeah,
at-
some underline.
I
would be
can-
fine.
There's other bolds, so maybe underlining.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm easy. I just want it to be highlighted somehow. I don't care.
Whoever does it can make the call probably with it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Then comes item number 16, which is adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion to adjourn by Jared, seconded by Larry Jurassic. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Time is 7:24.